Hey, welcome back. I've been walking around this office, driving in my car for really years, saying to myself, I need to do something on China. I need to talk about China. I hear about it at backyard parties. I've heard about China at church. I've heard about China from clients sitting in this office, and I've had clients talk about China on the phone. All of the problems, how great their economy is, how they own so much of our debt, and I just want to present the opposing view. And I have lots of my own reasons on this, but well, I guess I consider this guy a friend, even though I've never met him. But Nick Murray Interactive summarized all the thoughts, which have been my thoughts anyway, as good as I've seen it. So I offer some of this back to you on China, and I'll read some of this. Declinist journalism here and in Europe happily proclaimed the rise of China as the coming economic powerhouse, soon to eclipse the tired old United States. In a bold new post-capitalist world, its human rights atrocities are held to be irrelevant. Its wholesale piracy of intellectual capital, something best overlooked, along with its staggering economic equality with its enormous population. First of all, the idea of China overtaking the United States in economic output is something only a journalist could pretend to believe. China's total output, GDP, will indeed one day equal or even exceed the United States for a time, unless, of course, its terrible internal contradictions derail it before it ever happens. On its present course, this parity between us and them in total economy might be achieved somewhere around 2020. But the true measure of any nation's economic output is per capita GDP, which is the amount each of us produces. And the United States is so far ahead of that category, it's hardly worth tracking. $42,517 per person as of that was a 2005 number. $2,800 per person in China. A staggering inequality in our favor. It is only their enormous population and size which has them approaching us in total economy. However, no sooner will China's nominal, that's their total economy or GDP, surpass ours, then its population is going to peak at about 1.4 billion and begin a long and steady decline. That's going to be the inevitable outcome of its one-child policy. The number of workers is going to fall, the number of retirees will soar, and as Investors Business Daily has pointed out, China's double-digit GDP growth will be a thing of the past, and it's going to end as China will become little more than an old folks' home. And I've seen that in other sources. In the meantime, China ranks at number 135 out of 179 countries in Heritage Foundation's recognition and rankings of economic freedom. We are ninth. Time does not allow me to go into this staggering trade deficit that is always reported with us and them, and that it is largely a statistical illusion. We can talk about that separately if you wish. What about the massive amount of debt that they have of ours? While I disagree with the policy of issuing so much debt, let's talk about that for a minute. Keynes once said that if he owes his banker £100, his banker owns him. But if he owes his banker £1 million, he owns the baker. So how does China think about invading, say, Taiwan, which would be against our wishes, when we could just embargo the interest on their bonds? More to the point of some of the current fashionable theories of meltdown is, how are they just going to sell off mass quantities of these bonds? The problems actually become bigger for them than it does for us in that scenario. And, you know, this is really a movie that we've all seen before. You know, about a third of the century ago, the economic juggernaut from the East that was going to surpass the helpless United States with their superior management and all that other stuff was Japan. The only problem was that Japan had a morbidly rigged economy, an even more rigged stock market, driven by one of the biggest real estate bubbles in history. Now its aging population has begun to shrink and its downward spiral continues. So 30 years after that bubble has burst, we remain the economic power in comparison to them. So this might sound familiar. I hope that it does, because it should. That when I say this, I mean the current China thing. So I guess as Nick points out, and as I agree, I think we have to find something else to worry about. Until next time.